Listen to me carefully, because this might bring you peace and save you from paying money you never truly owed. A few months ago, I sat across the table from a soft-spoken woman named Margaret, 76 years old, a widow. She had just paid $200 for 3 collection letters she thought were mandatory. The papers looked official. They used legal-sounding words. She said, "I was afraid if I didn't pay, they'd sue me or take my Social Security." Margaret is smart. She's proud. But fear made her reach for her checkbook. And here's the twist. She didn't legally owe that money. The law was on her side, but no one had told her. This video is for every senior who has ever looked at a collection letter and whispered, "I don't know if I can afford this." Or worse, "I'm too tired to fight." Because here's what the collection agencies hope: that you'll be too overwhelmed to ask questions, that you'll pay in silence, that no one will stand beside you. But today, I will. I'm not just a lawyer. I've spent 15 years helping older adults protect what's theirs. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 5 common collection letters that many seniors feel pressured to pay, but aren't legally required to. And make sure you stay until the end, because the last one is not only the most manipulative, it's the one I see trapping seniors into paying again and again. So grab a notebook or just listen closely. And if any of this reminds you of something you've experienced, share it in the comments. Your story could help someone else feel less alone. And don't forget to tap that like button so this reaches more people who need it. Now, let's begin with one of the most misunderstood and fear-inducing types of collection letters: demands for debts so old the law says collectors can't sue you anymore. When Dorothy opened her mail, she expected a birthday card from her grandson. Instead, she found a $2,150 demand letter from a collection agency for a credit card from 12 years ago. She sat at her kitchen table, confused and embarrassed. She said, "I don't even remember that card, but what if not paying hurts my credit?" Here's the truth. Many seniors get hit with collection letters for old debts that debt buyers scooped up for pennies. This happens when the statute of limitations expires, usually 3 to 6 years from last payment. But under state laws, you're protected. If enough time passed and you didn't restart the clock with a payment, you often don't legally owe through court. That's a powerful starting point. From my work, I've seen that many letters threaten lawsuits they can't file due to time-barred status. And yes, it's frustrating, but also fixable. You can dispute the debt. You can request validation. And if you feel unsure, you can ask the collector directly. "Can you show me the date of last payment and my state's statute of limitations?" One study from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau found that 2/3 of people never even tried to validate old debts. But among those who did, over 40% had the claims dropped entirely. If this happened to you or to someone you love, know this: you're not causing trouble by asking questions. You're protecting what you worked for. And if a letter like this shows up in your mailbox again, take a breath. Let your lawyer brain switch on. You have time. You have rights. You can do this too. Coming up next, we'll talk about another hidden trap: collection letters about someone else's debt sent to you that hope you don't know the law. A week after burying her husband, Helen picked up the mail and saw a letter saying, "Estate of John Doe owes $3,200 immediately." Her hands shook. She whispered, "But I didn't sign for that card. It was his alone." This is where grief meets legal manipulation. Countless seniors, especially widows, are quietly pressured to pay a loved one's debts they don't legally owe. And in moments of sorrow, guilt becomes currency. Here's the law. Unless you co-signed the loan or were joint on the account, you are not responsible for a deceased person's debts. Not as a spouse, not as a child, not as the family member getting the mail. But collectors know how to blur that line. They'll address letters to the estate, but speak as if you personally owe it. They lean on your confusion and even more on your kindness. I've seen it too many times. One woman I worked with received notices for her late brother's medical debt. No shared account, no agreement, just same last name. She almost paid until we asked one simple question. Can you show us the signed agreement with her name on it? They couldn't. The letters stopped. Emotionally, this hits deep, because when you've lost someone, you're not just managing grief. You're fighting to keep your stability. And behind every demand letter is that silent fear. If I don't pay, am I dishonoring them? Let me say this clearly as your lawyer. Grief should never come with a balance due. You are allowed to grieve without being financially hunted. The FTC confirms this. Collectors cannot make you pay from your own money unless you're legally tied to the debt. If they try, demand written proof. Ask for the original contract. If they don't have it, you can walk away. No shame, no guilt. You can do this too. One letter, one call, one boundary at a time. Next, we'll talk about something even more personal. Collection letters for services you never ordered or agreed to. One quiet Sunday after church, Ruth got a collection notice for $750 alarm monitoring contract breach. She sat frozen. She remembered a salesman checking smoke detectors months ago, but didn't remember agreeing to pay. This is where politeness becomes a trap. Seniors are often targeted by door-to-door sellers for security systems or subscriptions. A visit turns into a claimed verbal contract. But here's the truth. If there's no signed agreement, no clear recording, no proof you knowingly accepted terms, it's not legally enforceable. Now, I'm not telling you to ignore real contracts. If you signed and agreed to pay, honor matters. But if a letter arrives months later with no paperwork, no text confirmation, no bank charge you authorized labeled as that service, then they carry the burden of proof, not you. I once helped a retired nurse hounded by a $640 home warranty claim from a phone call she didn't recall authorizing. No recording, no signature, just pressure, and threats of credit damage. We asked for proof. They had none. It ended right there. Emotionally, this stirs up deep fears. Did I forget signing something? Will this ruin my good name? Am I getting forgetful? It's okay to ask these questions. It's also okay to set boundaries from a legal lens. Here's the key. Verbal claims are hard to enforce without your signature, full audio, or written acceptance. Courts don't uphold vague sales pitches without dates, terms, signatures. And no, politeness isn't a binding contract. If someone claims you owe for a service visit, here's what to do. Stay calm. Ask for the signed contract and don't pay out of pressure. You can even say, I don't recall agreeing to these terms, and I need full documentation before deciding. You have every right to pause, protect your peace, honor facts, not their story. You can do this too. One quiet boundary could save you hundreds. Next, we'll talk about a letter that follows you even after you moved and why you don't always have to pay the bill. 3 months after moving to her daughter's home, 75-year-old Grace opened forwarded mail with a $450 gas collection notice from her old apartment. She'd canceled service, read the final meter, given keys to new tenant, but now she owed for weeks she never lived there. This kind of thing happens all too often. Seniors downsize or move to family, and months later, utility bills chase them like shadows. And here's the truth. I want you to hear clearly. If you canceled properly, surrendered the property, had no control after move-out, you're not legally responsible. Sometimes companies fail to close accounts. Other times, new tenants run up bills hoping prior resident pays from guilt. I helped Grace, who got a $380 water bill for old apartment after senior housing move. When we asked documentation, company couldn't show meter reads under her name post-cancellation or service request from her. The bill disappeared. Here's what you need if this happens. Ask for service dates, meter logs, account name proof during your tenancy. Provide move-out notice or lease end copy. Have someone check property if needed. Zones change unnoticed. Most important, never pay just to end hassle. Payment admits responsibility. Under laws in most states, providers verify before collections. You have right to written dispute, full investigation. You can do this too. One calm call, confident question. Often all to protect finances, peace. Now, let's look at a type of collection letter from private debts where even demands don't hold if law's on your side. Grace was checking community mail when private collector letter arrived claiming $550 contract breach from store lot 8 months ago. Hands trembled, barely remembered shopping, less agreeing terms. Don't pay, report credit, warned coldly. Fear meets fine print. Private companies count on it. But here's what I told her. Want you remember? Most states, private debts need clear contract proof via visible signs. Without readable signage where parked, reasonable fees, loss proof, demand uncollectible. Danger when seniors make small payment or acknowledge. Gesture creates estoppel, fresh claim. Law calls unenforceable invoices. Send demands, can't force unless agreement. Helped widow getting $450 grocery overstay threats. Company said pursuing collections. After sign photos under consumer laws, backed off. No court, payment, harm. If happens, stay calm. No phone confirm. Written validation. Sign photos, contract proof. Prove terms accepted. Check state private debt laws. Legal aid. You can do this too. Small change, pause before pay, protects retirement. And now, something heartbreaking. Collection letter not real, scam praying trust. Last winter, Evelyn opened stamped final notice. Owed $389 home warranty never signed. Customer ID, hotline, address, felt real. Scammers work now. Letters official, emails polished, voices calm firm. Target seniors valuing rules, peace, right thing. Danger not money. Self-doubt planted. What if legitimate? License fear. Irresponsible worry. Legal truth. No original service. Owe nothing. Scammers public info fake bills. Pay once. Keep coming. Sell data. Tell clients. Trust gut. Feels off. No rush. Ask. Signed. Talked company. Gift cards. Wires. Legit no weird payments. No threats sans docs. Tip. Business license. Name. Online look. Complaints. No trace. Avoided trap. FTC. Seniors $3 billion fraud yearly. Phantom billing big. Not you. Right questions. Delay. Hang verify City Hall. Control yours. Share video part loved one. Save exploited. Now bring together deserve peace, not pressure. Talked time barred can't sue. Others debts. Phantom services. Move bills. Scam fakes praying trust. Help control. Truth. Not raised fine print. Auto billing. Phishing. Time handshake bills sense. System confusing, not fault. Slow, ask, need proof. Rights, choices. Power protect peace. Small change, big difference. Video helped, share loved, neighbor, sister, friend. Wisdom protects savings. Comments? Collection letter relook week? Not just lawyer. Believe calm dignity, never monthly sacrifice. https://pplai file upload -3. amazonoz.com web direct files. Attachments 88741907 6E2 CEBC9 79B0 4E7A BFFB 691996 B39E Roteiro Molde TXT https PPLI file upload S3 amazonoz.com web direct files. Attachments 88741907 E7522A7 E557 4A B88726 6B822B6 do F5 Roteiro Molde TXT